With that, I'd like to turn to our program and please welcome past President Nancy Sennett, retired partner at Foley and Lardner, and chair of the Rotary Person of the Year Committee to introduce our program.
I'm so pleased to be here today to kick off our celebration. The Rotary Club of Milwaukee has no higher honor than the Rotary Person of the Year Award. Annually, our club honors an accomplished local individual who has distinguished himself or herself with professional accomplishments. Unlike other awards in our community that recognize civic and philanthropic achievements, the Rotary Person of the Year honors and recognizes individuals who, through their profession, are making the Milwaukee community a better place to live and work. This award was first given in 1955. Since then, we have honored nearly 155 men and women, and a list can be found in the program. I thank all of you who have submitted nominations. And I thank the members of the Rotary Person of the Year Committee who diligently reviewed the many applications and as a group came together and selected this year's honoree. Now I'm pleased to call to the program Meg McKenna, Senior Relationship Director at C.G. Schmidt, and Kathy Eli, the former mayor of Wauwatosa and now a community volunteer, who jointly nominated and will introduce our Rotary Person of the Year. Can we get this in a place where both of us can share? Good afternoon, everyone. I've been a Rotary member for 5 years, but this year, when the Person of the Year Committee called for nominations, I actually read through the criteria and asked questions about what they were looking for. And Nancy read it, but I'll read it again. Unlike other awards that recognize civic and philanthropic achievements, the Rotary Person of the Year honors individuals, executives, entrepreneurs who, through their profession, are making the Milwaukee community a better place to live and work. Immediately, I thought of our honoree, Beth Weirick. Then I called Meg and I told her my idea and I asked her to be the co-nominator, and of course, we had to work on this project together. We reached out to 10 fellow Rotarians to ask for testimonials, and every single person responded so quickly and enthusiastically and with joy. I was first introduced to Beth by Meg when I became the bid director for the village of Wauwatosa. At first, she was a mentor, but that grew into more than a 20-year friendship. One thing that has remained constant all those years, Beth doesn't just care about Milwaukee, she fuels it with a fire and a force that's unmatched in our community. It's an honor for us to introduce Beth for this prestigious award and attempt to describe this dynamic force that we know as Beth Weirick.
Even as a teenager, Beth saw Milwaukee not just as it was, but as it could be. And that's where her story began. She's been pushing that vision forward ever since, with every step, every spark of energy, and every ounce of love she has for the city.
When Beth took the helm of Bid 21 in 1998, it was little more than a concept. Those days were the early days of the business improvement districts. The basic responsibility of a bid director, as I learned from Beth, is primarily to the business and property owners to work on issues related to safety, cleanliness, and marketing. Under Beth's leadership, Bid 21 became the dynamic driver of a clean, safe, welcoming, and fun environment. A vibrant destination for everyone who lives, works, and visits in Milwaukee.
an environment that appeals to developers and investors who believe in Milwaukee's potential.
The public service ambassadors, the clean sweep crews, the graffiti removal team, the community intervention committee to address homelessness, these aren't just programs, they're Beth's fingerprints on the soul of downtown. Beth didn't stop at sidewalks and safety. She brought us the Holiday Lights Festival, Downtown Dining Week, Employee Appreciation Week, all celebrations of the Milwaukee she saw and wanted all of us to experience. Beth knew long before most that a thriving downtown needed people to live there, not just visit. Her push to grow the residential base became the very reason so many small downtown businesses survived the pandemic. The creation of the community intervention team speaks volumes about who Beth is and how she leads, with empathy, innovation, and a drive to unite people around solutions. She built trust across city, county, and nonprofit partners to create a coordinated, compassionate response to homelessness. Beth doesn't shy away from complexity. She meets it with connection, collaboration, and lasting impact. She made sure that when Milwaukee talked about homelessness, we talked about humanity too. Beth shows up for causes, for coworkers, for holidays. Many Milwaukee families have made memories through her as the MC of Holiday Lights, the Holiday Lights Kickoff Show, the Jingle Bus Tours, Cocoa with the Clauses, and Letters for Santa. Her mentorship has shaped a generation of Milwaukee leaders. Her ability to be 100% present, whether you are a mayor, an intern, or someone simply having a bad day, is a rare and powerful gift.
When we wrote her nomination, neither Beth nor I knew neither Meg nor I knew that Beth would soon be announcing a new chapter in her life. 1 month later, she made that announcement, and when reflecting on her career, she said this: "My journey with Milwaukee Downtown has been filled with passion, purpose, and countless moments that I will cherish forever. Today, we," and Beth always says we, "have created a downtown that embodies the spirit and energy of all who live, work, and play here." Beth's decades of leadership, compassion, and vision have helped transform Milwaukee for the better and built a strong future for those who now are going to take over. She is a true public servant, and we can think of no one that's more deserving of 2025 Rotary Person of the Year honor. And now, let's watch a short video on what makes Beth a Rotary Person of the Year.
If I had to boil it down, it's love and passion for the city and for the citizens of Milwaukee.
No one loves this city more than Beth does.
She have a great relationship of figuring the ways to bring our community together.
I think it's just really an incredible amount of energy. I really am not sure how she sleeps.
She's quite a rocker. That's a fun story.
Beth Weirick is truly a force of nature.
Again, I'm extremely biased and have this amazing viewpoint and lens to watch, I think, one of the greatest leaders our city has had.
I think Beth is able to relate to anyone. I think she does communicate very well how much she loves the community and cares about this community being one that everybody feels at home in, and her energy toward making this a thriving community is really unsurpassed in my view.
I've barely seen her mad. Everyone feels special when they are around Beth, and we always joke that we're all best friends, or Beth is all of our best friends, but I think she really has that way of connecting with people on a deep level. It's that authentic ability to see people.
If she's got a problem, you really never know it. And this project was more complicated than I thought it was ever going to be. I mean, I can't believe how complicated it is to put all of that together, to find the art, to deal with the artists or the artist representatives. After we sort of decided what we sort of wanted to do, I thought, well, I really need to talk to Beth, because Beth is the person that was sort of making things happen downtown. I had no idea that we'd have to work with the city so much, but working with the city was very important, and she had experience working at the city.
Her superpower is to be able to cultivate other leaders, and she inspires people because it's almost like she's Vince Lombardi. She knows exactly what somebody needs to be successful, and she brings out the best in everybody.
Well, I can say a lot of things about Beth Weirick. She's a great person, great personality. She have a great vision for our downtown. When we come down to conventions, visitors wanted to see what's going on. Even talks about the history that we have in our downtown.
I think she was born for this. Honestly, I do. And I think anybody that knows my mom, anybody that has met my mom once, spoke to Beth for 5 minutes, she somehow has the ability to make you feel like you have been best friends since kindergarten. And that, to me, is like something literally God-given that, again, makes me so emotional because I don't have it.
It's not a Pollyanna type of environment where she's like, everything is great and, you know, we have no problems. I mean, we all recognize there are problems to be solved, but she is a roll up her sleeves, bring people to the table. More voices are better.
I am forever grateful for the incredibly strong foundation that she's built with this organization. So I'm so grateful to be stepping into a role with such a great team surrounding us. I kind of use as my guidepost when it comes to a critical decision, you know, what would Beth do in this situation? So I think as long as we continue to work and strive for, you know, continue to make Beth happy, I think we're gonna be headed in the right direction.
When I first started, I didn't know what Ambassador's role was. But when I first met her, right away when I seen that smile, I was like, man, that's the best smile ever.
I just think she looks beyond just what the symptom of a problem is to try to solve something more deeply. An example a number of years ago where people were concerned about panhandling downtown. And so Beth and I went to a meeting of folks downtown who expressed concern about that. And rather than just stopping at addressing that one problem at the surface level, Beth managed to convene a number of stakeholders in the community that ultimately got to the root of the problem. And we discovered that a lot of our panhandling was due to homelessness related to mental health.
She has always, honestly, lived a life of, in my opinion, like service. And she's loved this city. And like, it again, makes me emotional because I've grown up and like this city is my sibling and my mom has helped just make it what it is. Again, one of many, but I'm just so incredibly proud of her.
Is she deserving of this award? Well, she is. But if there's a higher award, she'd be deserving of that one too.
I can't think of anyone more deserving of this award than Beth Weirick. She's done so much for this community, for our downtown, and our downtown would not look the way it is today without all of the work that she has put in her professional life.
I can't think of anyone who loves her city, our city, more than Beth Weirick.
I don't know that my mom would say that deserved is the right word. My mom wakes up every single day as who she is, authentic, and she does the right thing for the right reasons.
She definitely should get this award.
I think she's a perfect candidate for this award. It's pure passion.
I think Beth's deserving of whatever award any of us can give to her. She lives, eats and breathes it every single day.
If you are going to be a leader, when you step away, it's you want to leave it better than how you found it, right? We kind of learned that whether it's Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or basketball and football, baseball, whatever sport you play, you want to always leave it better than you found it. I think my mom has left this city much better than she found it.
It is the Rotary Club of Milwaukee's sincere honor to introduce you to Milwaukee's best friend and the 2025 Rotary Person of the Year, Beth Weirick.
Okay. It's really easy. Thanks. I'm just going to take 1 second. Well, good afternoon. I'm truly humbled and deeply honored to receive the 2025 Rotary Person of the Year award. This recognition is not just a personal milestone, but a reflection of the collective effort, collaboration, and shared commitment that have defined my journey. It is a testament to the power of community, partnership, and unwavering dedication to service, reminding me that relationships are the foundation upon which all meaningful progress is built. A heartfelt thank you to Kathy and Meg, who have become the most amazing, amazing friends for this nomination, and to the committee who put the work and the effort in selecting me for this recognition. I accept this award on behalf of my family, including my late husband, Joe Weirick, for they were always providing me, as you saw with DJ Shauna today, unwavering support, and that has been a really strong foundation for me. I also want to acknowledge my internal team. Matt Turner, incoming CEO of Milwaukee Downtown. You will lead with amazing passion, and I look so forward to watching you. Isabel Ulrich, Erica Green, Rachel Farina, Lasha Ryerson, Brian Johnson, the list goes on and on. My board members and support staff, Tammy, Annette, Debbie, Mary, thank you. Jim Kavanaugh, thank you for believing in me and entrusting me. And thanks to the many partners, colleagues, and volunteers whose dedication has made our shared vision for Milwaukee possible. And to all the members of Rotary Club of Milwaukee. Your work inspires me, and I am truly grateful for your leadership and commitment to making a difference. When Nancy Sennett called me to tell me about this recognition, at first, of course, I did not feel worthy, and I think we all have those moments in our lives. And then you recognize that with the gift of recognition comes some responsibility. And I asked Nancy how I could best receive this recognition today. And her recommendation to me was, tell us about the pathway of your life that got you to this moment where you are today, because we all want to learn from each other. So Nancy, thank you for that. As I reflect on that pathway that brought me to this moment, I'm reminded that the relationships we nurture along the way are instrumental in shaping who we are. And my journey has been rich with mentorship, friendship, and lessons learned from individuals who exemplify integrity, compassion, and resilience. These relationships have been the guiding threads woven through my story, each one reinforcing the importance of connection, trust, and shared purpose. I'm going to share a few of those stories and highlight how these relationships have impacted my life and my work. First, my grandmother, Lillian, whose wisdom and unwavering belief in service instilled in me a sense of purpose from early on. Her example taught me that true leadership is rooted in humility and in service, and that lifting others is the highest calling. Her optimism, kindness, and love for life have been a guiding light in my journey. Next, some of my early educators, Miss Susan and Sister Jana, who taught me fundamental lessons about sharing, fairness, a love of learning, and empathy. These lessons laid the groundwork for my understanding of community and the importance of caring for others. My high school teacher, Miss Kathy Kaufman, she sparked my interest in downtown development during a field trip in 1980. That day, a conversation about urban renewal ignited a passion that has driven much of my work. Remarkably, the woman who addressed our class that day, Phyllis Resop, later became a board member of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. And this is a beautiful example of how relationships formed early in our life can blossom into lifelong collaborations. Bob Cassidy, owner of Cassidy's on 63rd and Bluemont Road, who saw potential in a teenage girl and gave her an opportunity in the hospitality industry. It reinforced to me the importance of service and kindness in taking care of others in our everyday interactions. This experience taught me that making someone's day better through a smile or a gesture can truly have a lasting impact. My children, Shauna and Justin Nichols, and my grandchildren, they have been my greatest teachers, reminding me to see the world with curiosity and joy, and grounding me in what truly, truly matters. Their presence in my life has reinforced the importance of nurturing relationships that foster love and resilience. My dear friend, Downtown Dan McCarthy. Downtown Dan exemplifies unwavering dedication to community development. Working with Dan on downtown revitalization projects showed me firsthand how collaboration, perseverance, and a shared love for our city can transform a community. His mentorship and belief in me reinforced that meaningful change requires not just vision, but hard work, and a lot of it, and relationships built on trust and mutual respect. Throughout my tenure at Milwaukee Downtown, I have had the enormous blessing of working with visionary leaders like Deborah Usinger, Cecilia Gilbert, Gary Grunow, and Tom Bernacki, whose strategic foresight and perseverance laid the foundation for our city's vibrant downtown. Their leadership reminded me that lasting transformation is rooted in relationships between community, business, and government, and that true progress is a collective effort. Looking back on nearly 3 decades of this particular chapter, I am in awe of what we have achieved together. The revitalization of our city's streets, the creation of public spaces, the implementation of public art, and the strengthening of Milwaukee's identity. These accomplishments are the fruits of strong relationships among residents, business owners, artists, city leaders, and countless volunteers. They exemplify that when we come together with shared purpose, we can build something enduring and meaningful. Our initiatives addressing social issues, cultural projects like Sculpture Milwaukee, and community engagement efforts that have all been strengthened by partnerships rooted in trust and shared vision. These relationships have allowed us to push our boundaries, innovate, and serve with love and compassion. As I prepare to step away from my role as CEO, I do so grateful for the relationships that have enriched my journey. While I may be closing this chapter, my connection to our community remains steadfast. I look forward, so forward, to supporting Milwaukee's continued growth and to seeing how new relationships will shape her future. This is more than a recognition of my work. It's a reminder that success is built on partnerships and relationships. Every handshake, every conversation, every act of kindness. It is about the people who have touched our lives and the collective effort that propels all of us forward. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for this incredible honor. May we all continue to nurture relationships that inspire, uplift, and bring about positive change. I wish you all love, light, and a very, very bright future. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Beth. We would now like to open the floor for questions. So if anybody has a question, they can step over here. Okay.
Or if you need to leave to get back to the office.
Hi, Lindsay McKee, Rotary Club member, of course. I just wanted to know, what is your greatest hope for Milwaukee as we move forward? Hopefully, like you said, growing, changing, and building those great relationships.
I often envision a city with a hedge of protection around it, where we are all unified and caring for each other. And in a world that Milwaukee is known for the love and the support and the compassion that we lead with, and that we all work together and we're lifelong learners, and we just become a community where we are filled with peace and lead with love and compassion.
Thank you, Beth, for all your hard work over the years. TJ Molinari, Pearly Corporation. Hi, Professor Lipozovic. We're going to say hi later. So I reflect on your tenure, and I want to ask you this question. So you came into the role and you had hopes and dreams for things that you were going to achieve over time. I moved back here in 2002, and I reflect on just the amazing transformation. I was wondering if you could take us back and say, you know, when I was starting out, this was the one thing that more than anything else I wanted to accomplish. And the day that it happened, what was that item, and how did you feel when you accomplished that goal?
Thank you, TJ. And that's a lot. And ever since my phone call with Nancy and then a follow-up with Meg and Kathy, I've been extraordinarily reflective, as you can imagine, in stepping into retirement. And I really do remember coming downtown, like for a Boston REO Speedwagon concert, and thinking like, what the hell? Why is our downtown, it's just so quiet. There's like nothing going on here. And then I remember working for Dan at Department of City Development, and then taking a position with the Westown Association, and digging very deep about what is that spark that needs to happen that ignites a community to gather and convene in a space. And I really remember driving around, and in my head, regularly, and my team knows I do my morning drive-arounds downtown almost every morning. In my head, I visualized our streets full of citizens, of guests, of visitors, of children. I am such a believer, if you build your downtown or your community for families, everyone will come and everyone will be welcome. And I think the first moment I really realized that sense of connectivity to community and achieving that goal that all of us work for is the Holiday Lights Festival. When I remember standing on that stage and looking out and seeing thousands of people and children downtown celebrating together as one community. And to me, that's what it is about. It is about connecting our community. It is about giving everybody a space to feel comfortable, to grow, to explore, and allow everyone to take ownership of that community, have accountability for it, but also celebrate it. Thank you, TJ.
Thank you, Beth. Steve Chevalier from the Rotary Club. I was born and raised in Milwaukee, and I've probably come down into Milwaukee or downtown Milwaukee almost every day of my life. So it's very hard for me to see the changes, but I know it's changed. So in your opinion, what has been the biggest change in your time with respect to Milwaukee, especially the downtown area? Just a big picture view.
Well, if I were Matt Dorner, I would have a lot of numbers for you right now. I would say the significant increase, and so when I first started working in this industry, we were seeing a lot of folks leaving. We had the suburban flight. Everybody seemed to, it felt like everybody was leaving, and you know from your work in real estate, you know, that there was this, everybody was going out to the suburban office park surrounded by a sea of parking. You know, there was still a very strong, thank God, arts and cultural community, but we lacked that vibrancy and that connection to community. So the significant changes that I have seen in my 3+ decades really have been, of course, the attraction of new jobs in downtown Milwaukee, the belief that corporate America and Milwaukee have in our city to invest and not only keep their employees down here, but thank you Northwestern Mutual, bring additional employees down here. Thank you Milwaukee Tool, and the list goes on and on. But so just, you know, even during COVID, when our sister cities around the country, their downtowns were closing down, they were losing jobs, people were moving out, people were fleeing the cities. We were a magnet, and I know Meg referenced that earlier, because we had such a strong residential population, which we saw that happen and continue to see that happen. You know, we had activity still downtown. So the biggest changes I see are more jobs, more residents, an enhanced tax base, and the investment, and I can't help but look over at my beautiful team over here, the investment of activating our public spaces, of giving spaces for our community to come together, to celebrate, to convene with the arts, with culture, with food, and the list goes on and on. But so many advancements, Steve, and I thank you for your support and for your vision and still believing in this community and still being a cheerleader and carrying that pennant for Milwaukee.
Hey, Beth. For the people in the room who don't know Beth, I have never been with Beth one time when she's introduced me to someone, when the first thing she says is, she tells me how great that person is, and she'll tell that person how great I am. It's really all about those connections, and it really shows. I guess my question is, what does your next chapter look like for you? What are you going to be doing when you wake up, you know, those first couple weeks?
So my last day is this Friday, June 27th. My poor team has been dealing with me for a 6-month transition. I love you all so much. It's like, are we going to say goodbye? Finally, I mean, is it time? Just kidding. I know you don't say that. I love you all so much. I love you so much. And I'm thinking they should be saying that to me because, my gosh. But nonetheless, my next chapter, what will it look like? Everyone, please say a prayer for me. I am hopeful that I won't lose my mind. Really, and I don't say that lightly. But and Christine, thank you for that great question. I am a believer that there comes a time when you pass the torch, when the team is ready, when it's ready for the next chapter of life. And I also think that sometimes, you know, we get in our comfort zones, and I am prepared to say, I'm doing something different. What that is, I don't know, because everybody can tell you what a planner I am, but I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I know in the short term, my grandkids, my mother, I want to learn what a weed is, not to smoke it, but to pull it from my garden. Maybe. I want to learn how to be a photographer, and Christine and I have already talked about that. I would give pottery classes another lesson, but I didn't do so well the first time. But there's so many things I want to do with this next chapter, but I also know that there's something scary for me because I live my life in 15-minute increments, and that is not a lie, to just be still and see what God in the universe is going to bring to the vacuum that is going to be created. But I have faith, and I'm certain it will be wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.